Hey, welcome! Today we are diving deep into a skill that, let's be honest, most of us think we're good at, but could probably be a whole lot better: active listening. Now, forget everything you've heard about this being some kind of vague, soft skill. We're going to explore the actual science behind it, treating it like a powerful tool that you can learn, practice, and totally master.
So let me start by asking you a question. Do you think being a great listener is just a personality trait? Something you're either born with or you're not? It's a really common idea, but what does the actual research say?
Well, the research is crystal clear on this one. Nope, not at all. Great listening isn't some magical gift. It's a science. It's a set of skills and behaviors backed by decades of research that literally anyone can learn.
This whole concept really took off back in 1957 thanks to two psychologists, Carl Rogers and Richard Farson. They discovered something huge. People don't really change or cooperate because you give them great advice. They do it when they feel like they've been truly, deeply heard. Okay, so that's the what. How about the how? How do we actually put this into practice? Well, it all starts with the foundational tools, the ones that create an environment of genuine understanding. Let's kick things off with presence and reflection.
The very first tool, and honestly, maybe the most important one, is what we call attentive presence. This just means giving someone your complete, undivided attention. Your body, your eyes, your mind. It sounds so simple, right? But the science behind why this works is absolutely profound.
You see, Carl Rogers' work showed that your full attention is, by itself, therapeutic. It creates what researcher Amy Edmondson calls psychological safety, which she found is the secret ingredient in all high-performing teams. It goes even deeper. Neuroscience shows that your focused posture and eye contact literally flip a switch in the other person's brain, activating pathways of trust.
So, once you're fully present, what's next? We move into reflective listening. And listen, this is not about being a parrot. You're not just repeating their words back to them. It's about reflecting the meaning behind the words, showing that you actually get it. And this comparison just makes it so clear. Repeating on the left just says, I have ears, but reflecting on the right, that says, I'm thinking with you. You're showing you're processing their ideas, and that helps the speaker clarify their own thoughts too. It's a total game changer.
Okay, our next tool is an absolute powerhouse, and it's backed by some really cool neuroscience. It's called emotional labeling, and it's as simple as it sounds. You just name the emotion you're hearing from the other person. So when you say something like, wow, that sounds incredibly frustrating, or it seems like you're feeling really overwhelmed by all this, something amazing starts to happen inside their brain. Research out of UCLA discovered that this simple act of naming an emotion actually reduces activity in the amygdala. That's the brain's fire alarm. So get this, by simply naming the feeling, you're helping the other person calm down and regulate their own emotions. You don't have to agree with them or judge them, you just have to name it. How cool is that?
All right, so once you built that foundation of safety and understanding, you can start using some more interactive tools to help guide the conversation. Next up, we're talking about questions and restraint. You know, the kind of question you ask can completely shift the energy of a conversation. Open-ended questions are your best friend here. They're designed to invite reflection and sharing, not just a simple yes or no. And this is just a perfect example. Think about it. Did you finish the task? Can feel like an accusation, right? It puts people on the defensive. But asking, what challenges did you face while working on it? Well, that's an invitation to tell a story. It shows you care about them, not just the result.
Okay, I'll be honest, this next one might be the single hardest technique to master, especially if you're a natural problem solver. It's the discipline to resist that powerful urge to jump in and fix things with your brilliant advice.
So why is holding back so important? It comes down to something called self-determination theory. Basically, we all have this deep psychological need for autonomy, for control over our own lives. And when someone swoops in with advice we didn't ask for, it feels like a threat to that autonomy. And what do? We resist, even if the advice is actually really good.
So what's the secret weapon? This simple, respectful question. By asking, would you like my input, you put the ball in their court. You honor their autonomy. And if they say yes, guess what? They're now wide open and actually ready to hear what you have to say.
All right, we're in the home stretch. Let's talk about the final techniques that pull everything together. This is all about confirming that you're on the same page and closing the communication loop so nothing gets lost. First,
Never forget that you aren't just listening with your ears. Your entire body is part of the conversation. Your nonverbal signals, your posture, your facial expression are sending a constant message. And that message is either you're safe with me or you're not.
And if you don't believe how important this is, check out this classic research from Albert Mirabian. It's mind-blowing. When we're communicating feelings and emotions, a staggering 93% of the message comes from our body language and our tone of voice. Only 7% is the actual words we use. So your calm tone, your nodding, that's what's really communicating safety.
And that brings us to our final technique, the summary. This is your chance to tie a bow on the conversation. Make sure you've got it right, and it's just an incredible sign of respect.
Now, a great summary isn't just a boring list of facts. It follows this really effective three-step loop. First, you summarize the key points as you heard them. Second, you acknowledge the emotions that were part of the story. And third, you clarify what, if anything, is going to happen next. This little loop prevents so much miscommunication and proves you are really there with.
So, we've covered all these different tools and techniques. What's the one big idea that ties them all together? What is the real, transformative power of feeling heard? Well, all the science points to one simple, powerful truth about what makes us tick as human beings. Let that just sink in for a second. Whether you look at psychology, neuroscience, or leadership studies, this is what they all find. When people check out, it's usually not about their ability. It's about a lack of connection. It's because they don't feel heard.
So at the end of the day, active listening isn't just a nice thing to do, it's a strategic thing to do. When you really master the skill, you don't just get compliance, you earn real trust, you inspire genuine cooperation, and you build the kind of commitment that lasts. So I'm going to leave you with a challenge. Thinking about everything we've just talked about. Who in your life, whether it's at work or at home, are you going to make a real effort to truly listen to today?